Profanity Nation.
Yeah, it's the new era of man for some old school fans with a new school brand. We got money on the mic with the plan in hand. And Stat Pat to his left, they go hand in hand. And to the right, we got Simpster, he putting it down. It's the Profanity Nation, we running the town, yeah.
It's the Profanity Nation.
Profanity Nation.
Hey, y'all, welcome to the show. Welcome to the Profanity Nation, where we are the voice of the professional fan. You know it, every Sunday night at 8:30 p.m., exclusively on Infinity Television, YouTube. I've got my co-host here. I got Money Mike. How you doing, buddy?
Man, I don't know, man. I'm doing good, mentally, physically, I'm good, but these Lakers, man,
they're kind of hot and cold.
We can't win no close games.
Yeah, right. They're hot and cold. I think we're going to talk about that this show. Step Pat, man.
Yeah,
how you feeling?
Yeah,
I'm your Raiders gear.
You know what? I'm doing this for all the Charger fans. So it's just what it is. But yeah, I want to piggyback what Mike said, man. Look, man, I'm feeling good, but at the same time, it's like I wish we can find a closer.
Yeah,
we're supposed to have one. That's paid big dollars.
I
something's wrong.
I guarantee we're gonna talk about that.
Let's get
in the show and maybe
for the entire show
at the final segment.
And the final segment. Something tells me there might be a specific segment that comes up. All right, guys. So as you guys know, Lakers are actually playing tonight, and they are playing the 76ers, which is a great team. Lakers currently stand at 19-23. They just can't seem to get over the hump to get to that 500 mark. They've had plenty of opportunities, guys. The opportunities have been there. The teams have tried to let them in. Dallas was there. Mm-hmm. The games that went to overtime earlier this season where Anthony Davis missed the free throws at the end of the game and sent it overtime. We lost in overtime. Overtimes we haven't done great. I'm not sure of our exact record yet, but those haven't done well for us.
Whatever. How many?
Owen every overtime.
We haven't won an overtime.
Yeah. Something's going on.
Defeated.
Maybe this could be a Darvin Ham issue, being first year coaching. They do seem to be coming in a bit hot and cold. They'll play a game, they'll play a quarter hot, then they come in and they're cold a quarter. They play a fourth quarter with a comeback, and then they go to overtime and lay an egg. What are you seeing, Stat, that is frustrating you? Because we're just past the halfway mark. We're really looking to get. Look, the West is wide open. But the Lakers don't seem to want to take that invitation and walk through the door. What are you seeing, and what do you attribute it to?
Yeah, good point what you said about Darvin. Actually, like, maybe this is like first year jitters, not really knowing how to formulate a plan to take advantage of the moment. However, he was with Budenholzer, right? So yep. He knows what it is to win. He knows what it looks like to call plays and stuff like that. So I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but at the same time, he should know. We're going to talk about a little bit about that Dallas game, about end of game situations and how can we get better. If Darvin Ham isn't able to get us over the hump coaching, then the players have to step up. And we do have people on the team that have been in these same situations that should know how to win. So one thing I can take solace in the fact that is we're 19-23.
Yep.
Like you said, the West is wide open. At the same time, you just want to give. Now, this is the silver lining. So all of these guys are under the pressure cooker. They're losing, but they're losing close. Okay. So can I infuse AD? Can I bring AD into this? And shouldn't that cure a lot of the ills that we have right now? At the same time, if he's shooting and missing free throws at the end of games, then it's all for nothing, right? So it's, but I do think that getting Troy Brown fourth quarter minutes, because when it come time to him to step up, he's not afraid of the moment. Giving these guys that normally would not give time, let them get those minutes, and but we do have an issue about closing games.
Money Mike. We're touching base. We're trying to figure out what's going on with the Lakers as far as, especially these close games that tend to get to overtime and then we lose those games. It's my opinion that when you have a team that gets close, but just can't get over the hump, those are decisions. Those are coaching decisions, player decisions that make the difference. Football is a game of inches. Basketball is a game of inches. It's these small decisions that are now setting the table for losses. One of those, as we talked before the show, could be why wasn't anyone, and if they were, why didn't they follow up on it? But why wasn't the attention brought that Luka had 5 fouls going into overtime and finished the game with 5 fouls? Why? You would have thought that would have been on the coach's board, saying everyone go in and drive against Luka. If Luka's on you, force the call. That would seem like if the coaches said it and players just didn't follow up, then so be it. But something's a disconnect there.
Well, look, I mean, number one, yes, you have to blame the coaching because that's something he should have mentioned in the huddle. That it literally, we're going to run a play to whoever. We don't care who it is. It could be me on the court. If Luka's guarding me,
yes,
then you running the play through me because you want to do your best. Either you're going to get a layup or you're going to get him out the game. And he's not going to be able to shoot that three-pointer on the other end, which he was able to do, in the first overtime. Yeah, so a lot of it to me, definitely is coaching. But look, man, I mean, we got veterans. We have all-stars. We have, quote-unquote, some people call it the GOAT on the team. Like, some of these things to me are obvious from a player's perspective, as well. Like, why are you, if it's not told, if Darvin Ham didn't say anything in the huddle, why are you not doing that? Why aren't you
self-aware of their
situation? Because this is a veteran team, right? We always talk about, one of the oldest teams in the league and all those types of things, and we're gonna get ran out the court. But this is the reason why we have a veteran team, because we know just how to make things happen and we know what moves to make.
Well, time will tell, but I really think that these close losses are going to be what piles up and what causes difficulties for us in the end. Because if we're getting close losses in games, we're going to get close losses in the season, meaning that our record is going to be a close loss to making it to the playoffs. Or had we just scraped together one or two of these close games, we might not be in the play-in. We might be in the playoffs and not have to worry about that. These are going to come back to bite us, Anthony Davis or not. Because we saw it with Anthony Davis. We still lost close games. These are the games, especially at home. You got
to win those games at home.
You got to bring them in. You got to win them at home, right? And it's not just Darvin Ham. Excuse me. You have to blame the entire coaching staff, because it's also the assistant coaches that are supposed to bring that to their attention. We know, with the Phil Jackson, when he was coaching, he was notorious. You would see him call a timeout. He wouldn't say a word to the team until with about 5 seconds left in that timeout. He'd call them over, blah, 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 and they'd go out on the court. Darvin Ham's a little different. We've talked about that. Guys coming off the court, he speaks to them, gives them some advice or whatever he's seeing out there. Do you think that right now, because he's the first-year coach, just everything's moving a bit quick for him? You could be an assistant coach for 20 years.
Right.
As soon as you wear that hat, head coach, it's different. It just is. You think that just like anybody, a player, the game starts to slow down for you? Maybe the games are going a little quick for him.
Is a lot of different things, right? Like maybe it is the fact that the pace of the game, or like you said, going a little bit too quick for him. Sometimes you question the rotations, starting lineups. He loved this 3-guard lineup, and I don't know why he's in love with this 3-guard lineup.
What does he see in it? Right?
I don't see what he sees in it, and. I think, when having Austin Reeves in and out of the lineup is kind of hurting us as well, too, because I think when he was on the court, he was a stabilizing force. Also, it was somebody I think that LeBron James trusted on the court. So, when we were talking about, like, we can put it all on Ham. But then we also do have some veterans on the team that have been in these same situations that should know how to. I mean, there should be somebody on the court on the staff that tells us, he got 5 fouls. I mean, it's funny because it's
on the big board.
It's on the big board.
It's on the big.
It's literally right above. So we all see it.
They can see
it.
We
see it. We're at Staples Center. But at the same time, you know how when guys are like a couple of rebounds short of a triple double. They tell you got 8 rebounds.
Yeah.
triple-double.
Yeah,
Somebody
they're
let them
telling each
know.
other. Yeah, exactly.
Somebody's letting somebody know.
And they're feeding them. Or
Right.
they're
Yeah, you're
they're
like,
stepping
hey,
out of
man,
the
you
way.
needed 3 more assists for a triple-double.
Yeah.
So we're doing that. Then we have to know that somebody has to be on the staff giving out that stat. Like Luka got 5 fouls.
Somebody
Somebody got to do it, right? So
Even if
like
it's
you
not
said,
the head coach.
attack them, put them in pick and roll situations. Do things that's going to get them in it wrong. But it just feels like, yes, I love the camaraderie. I like him having these guys buy in, but that ain't winning games right now.
It's not getting us over the top.
Right.
It's a good start, but this team doesn't have time for
Yeah,
start.
I mean, look, even though like Christian Wood, he was killing us. Like every time he was blocking everything. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, so what can we do to have Christian Wood not be in the paint? Maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe his guy, we have him. Look, that's what they used to do back in the day with Shaq, right? Remember, it was always, if it was Dirk or whatever, he was like, all right, dude, you guard me, I'm gonna be right around the 3-point line, and I'm gonna prevent you from being in the paint. You go in the paint, it's illegal defense. Like, you know what I mean? Why?
Yeah.
It's the chess part of the game, right?
Yeah, it's a little small little critiques, they need to do. And listen, 100%, it should be coaching first. The hierarchy is coach first. But we have veterans on this team. And we need for you to play the full game, offense and defense, and be able to do this increasy stuff. If they get in the huddle, everybody gets in the huddle in the middle of the court, right? There ain't no coaching there, but they go and they say something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then they go ahead and
the players should be aware.
They should
know. They know that there's a game behind the game. It's not just score the ball and stop the ball. There's a game behind the game. Their best player has 5 fouls. Put the onus, put that pressure on the refs to make that call. It's the same thing you complain about with LeBron at the end of the game, that he doesn't drive to the basket. Why not? These are poor decisions. Force the refs to make the call.
And look, and they made it when LeBron was driving to the basket.
And then they missed some too.
Oh my God!
They did.
All right, so let's talk about that really quick.
They did miss the 3-point shot.
The 3-point shot that could have sealed it. That could have gave us some free throws and sealed it.
Yeah.
But we all know that it never comes down to the refs, right? It's always the team that you put yourself in that position. If you're up by 5, it wouldn't have been a problem.
Yeah.
But it was a tie, and you let it become a tie or whatever that situation is. Are we, the trade deadline's coming closer, guys. There's still lots of rumors out there. You're hearing all these stories about players who turned down their extensions with their existing team, whether that's Jordan Clarkson, former Laker, Fred VanVleet from Toronto Raptors, all these players who turned down their extensions. That doesn't necessarily mean they want to leave the team, but that does make them a trade candidate because that team doesn't want to let that player walk for nothing. Has anything interesting come up that you've seen that we weren't aware of over the last few weeks? Again, Fred VanVleet is one of the new ones. Jordan Clarkson. Are any of these, kind of swinging your opinion as far as whether we should or shouldn't make a trade? And if so, what would that trade look like?
I would give up a protected first round pick for Bogdanovich from Pistons.
You would?
I would. And I tell you why. I think that he's very efficient. He's a reliable 3-point shooter. He does give us that wing person that we sorely miss right now. You can see with an AD, LeBron, and him, especially LeBron wants to drive and kick, then he's going to be able to knock down shots. He's not afraid of getting his own shot off. Like, it just seems that he's the veteran that we kind of like need right now. So to me, that's what I would be a target for somebody like that. VanVleet, obviously, but we go back to like having like how many point guards?
The guard heavy.
We can't be having like a lot of
If you get a
VanVleet,
VanVleet, you got to trade a guard.
Right, that's the thing. And then at the same time, even if you have VanVleet play the point, who's going to be having the ball in his hands in the fourth quarter? Then we're literally going to have LeBron out there running the show, whereas we're going to have VanVleet being a spot-up shooter. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, at this point, we just got to call it what it is. LeBron's the point. He can play point forward, but he's going to be the one with the ball in his hand most of the time. Let's give him people around him that's going to enhance that attribute of his game.
But you know what's interesting about that with LeBron? LeBron keeps on talking about how he loves the idea of the backcourt, right? Like, I mean, front court. You know, he loves, like, he wants to be in that forward position and not really bring the ball up. But that's what he's verbally saying. You know, but what exactly is he doing is
What's he showing?
Is a whole nother thing. And what's frustrating is, like, you know, it's a great thing that we're a weekly show, right? Because we were just talking about how great LeBron was playing. You know what I mean? Putting in and he had this massive run to putting the team on the back. Why'd you stop that, dude? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know,
why'd you lay off a little bit?
Yeah, why are you laying off?
What's the letdown?
We're not at 500 yet. Like, you haven't even made the. You know, obviously there's steps and goals that you want to get to, right? The first step is, like, can we get to 500? Then is, okay, can we be above 500? Then it's, okay, can we get in the top 4?
Right.
Like, there should be certain steps that we should be going on. Why is LeBron not going through this progression of steps, and why is he letting out to be the same LeBron I was complaining about the first 20?
I actually agree with you, and that's what makes me question the value of any trade. Because regardless of who we trade for, there's nobody out there that's going to take our team, put them over the top, and we're going to start blowing out the competition. That's not going to happen. It's not available. So what that means is the games are still going to be competitive, although we may be in more games, but they're going to be competitive, and we're not losing based on our talent. We're losing based on our IQ, our team's IQ, whether that's being the players or whether that's being the coach. And regardless of who you sign or trade or get or trade out, that's not going to change. Bogdanovich is not going to change that. Fred VanVleet's not going to change at the end of the game, as we know. Something there needs to change. And if that tweak comes, then that makes all the difference in the world. And I have news for you. If that tweak had come earlier, we'd already be over 500. We'd probably be a game over 500. It's probably about 5 games out there that we could have won with better decision making. You know, we all felt that Ham was the coach that would hold the players accountable. I think he's doing that to agree. I do not know that he's actually doing that to LeBron the way he should at the end of games.
I would say this. I don't know if Darvin Ham. I knew he knew that AD is like a liability when it comes to his injury history. At the same time, I think he would feel like he should be judged on him having his full complement of players.
Of course, every coach wants that.
You know, so when he is, and I want to give him a little bit of slack on the fact that he is a first-year coach and he is dealing with an MVP candidate on the bench, like literally cannot play. And when we were talking about how when AD was on the court, he was literally, we were saying that basically it's his team now, like this monster team, right? So, okay, let me see him coach 15 games with AD in the lineup. Let me get a record around 10-5 so I can then really fully evaluate his coaching, because he's going to have cogs and players. And once again, even though we're losing, I know we're losing, it sucks, but it just feels to me that this is valuable experience for people that I know is not really going to get run when, you know, Austin Reeves get back, you know, so AD really coming back. So it just feels like I just want to just be, for me, cautious that I want to put it on them that we're lucky. We're very lucky that we're only 2 games out of the 6th spot.
You know what's interesting about that?
That's shocking.
That is very shocking.
It's shocking and disappointing in the West, which is normally so strong.
Right, yeah.
You
I
know.
mean, yeah, I brought that last week. You know, we were talking about, like, they already have 13 losses in, like, the first place team. Like,
Yep.
But you know what's interesting in what you're saying, though, Pat? We've literally have seen 2 sample sizes of great basketball, great performances. And when I say 2 sample sizes, we've seen a sample size when LeBron has been in the lineup and AD has, and we've been playing great, and we went on runs.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
We've seen sample sizes on AD not been there and LeBron been in the lineup, and we played great, right? My only issue is the lack of consistency, because if you look at it on both of those levels, you're like, wait a minute, Darvin Ham, when we went to the 5 games in a row, 6 games in a row. Actually, it was a stat, you know, early in the season that every game that LeBron didn't play, we won, right?
Yeah.
Like these were things. So we were, at that point in time, we were saying, "Oh my God, Donovan Helms is a great coach. He's doing everything that's great." And now we're seeing it on the other side too. Like I said, flip side, LeBron and AD not.
Mm-hmm.
My issue is, why do we? I feel like, all right, cool, we could do this for 5-6 games, and then it's like a complete fall off where, like, we didn't even see what we just saw 3-4 games ago. Like, why is that happening? Are they getting tired? Are they?
To me, that's all reminiscent of a young team.
Yeah.
When you have young players, they can't keep the momentum. Their resolve isn't strong, this and that. But we don't have a young team. We have a veteran-laden team. So the next thing you can point to is a young, experienced coach.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing I can point to there. And you're right, Money. You're like, well, okay, but the players know better. So why aren't the players picking up that slack for the coach?
But we've seen them coach both ends, and actually they've been playing great basketball on both sides.
Successful. It's
just,
so it's something to get them over the top.
It's something with the. We got to figure out, like, why are we not able to maintain that momentum on both sides of it?
Right.
When LeBron's playing great, we're winning, but the momentum drops. When AD was playing great, we're winning, momentum drops. So you would think if both of them are in there, oh my God, we should be, on a 10, 15 game winning streak.
Well, then
after
that tells you it's not the players, and it's not the talent. Tells you there's something else. There's something else in the recipe, just a little bit more salt, right? It's just missing some salt or something. But what that ingredient is, that's what I'm sure they're trying to figure it out as well. Again, talking about the trade aspect, it's been relatively quiet so far. Now, of course, the trade deadline's coming up. We're talking about around the league, not just the Lakers, of course. Let's just guess here, throw out some guesses. Do you think anything big's going to happen this year? Are there going to be some big changes in teams? Again, some of the players out there that you're hearing that at least didn't sign extensions, the Fred VanVleet, the Jordan Clarkson, but then you've got tons of rumors that Cam Reddish could be gotten for 2 second-rounders from New York. Bogdanovich has been on the block all season. You've got that gentleman over there in the Suns that's not playing. Jay Crowder, I believe. You envision anything happening this year?
I just think that, okay, first of all, I know once we get closer. Okay, so I'm going to stay with this. Back in the day when we only had 8 spots to get in the playoffs.
Yep.
If you were the 12th seed right now, the number 12 team in the playoff, so you're out of the playoffs. You're halfway mark right now, right? You're looking to, okay, let's shed salary, let's shed players, let's just get better draft positions.
You're throwing up the flag.
Yeah, and so more assets are available, right? So now we have the play-in tournament, right? We got the play-in tournament. We have to be top 10 to get into some semblance of a postseason. It's not like you got a guaranteed spot.
Guaranteed spot. Can happen.
But you at that 12th spot now, you're not giving up those assets. And you might even think about maybe making a little tweak or two so you can get into the playoffs. So everyone is kind of like holding on to these assets, and there's not really no movement going on because now things are getting competitive. Now the NBA did a great job because it kind of discouraged, the tanking.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we now have to really think that we're going to probably you're just going to get all the way close to the trade deadline. We just got to hope that AD can come back so we can get 500 and we can move forward. Because that's what I see the problem is. No one's giving up assets right now because nobody want to throw up the white flag right now. And it's early. It's early. So hopefully we can, but we don't want to overpay. And I also think another thing is this front office is scared out of their mind right now for making another debacle trade. And if the fact that I keep hearing Kyle Kuzma's name, being thrown out there, and that
that's not a bad trade though.
However, this is where it gets bad. We gave up picks to trade him for Westbrook. Are we going to now give up a first rounder to get Kyle Kuzma back? That's where we got egg on our face.
But here's a big point in that, okay, guys, because we're always looking at, and the Lakers have to look at this, right? We're looking at the what have you done for me this year? What can you do for me this year? But these players that we're mentioning, again, the Kyle Kuzmas, the Fred VanVleets, the Jordan Clarksons, all of these players are looking for a big payday next year.
Right.
No reason to trade for these
Turner.
players unless you're ready to sign them for next year. If not, then you're just giving away for nothing. You're really giving away for nothing. And even if you win a title with them this year, that's great. It's worth it. But then you're starting over again next year because you're not going to re-sign them. So you're not building any sort of legacy, any dynasty, or any strength for the years coming forward.
But isn't that why you might want to trade for Kyle Kuzma? Because he's expressed that he wants to be a Laker again.
Mm-hmm. He wants the payday, though. So the question is, are you going to pay him? The Lakers have been unwilling to pay marginal talent. And by marginal, I mean that middle-of-the-road guy, not that superstar. They'll pay the cheap guys and they'll pay the superstars. They don't want to pay that $20 million a year contract. Those are the guys they're refusing to sign, and they keep going with 1-year deals, 2-year deals, options, this and that. That seems to be the hang up. That's why they didn't keep a Caruso. So the question is are they going to commit to these mid-level guys? Because these are the guys. Jordan Clarkson wants a 20+ a year payday. Kuzma's probably wanting a 20+ a year payday. VanVleet's going to get a 20+ a year payday. Will the Lakers pay that money? If not, then why make the trade? You can't make the trade because you're locking yourself out of your future for today.
Because you know how we have $30 million, I think around $30 million in cap space. So you have AD on the books, you're going to have LeBron on the books, and you have $30 million in cap space. Well, then guess what? Like you were saying, you're going to trade for these players. They're going to want these paydays. And if they get $20 million, $25 million a year, now what? I got $5 million to fill out the rest of my roster.
And some exceptions.
You know, we're doing the same thing, like you said, over and over. And so now you better hit. You better find that third piece to justify all of the movement and all the cash space that you're hoarding. Because now, if you compound the Westbrook debacle, you know, right now we as Laker fans have no faith in this front office. I mean, I can sunshine pump all day long and say glass is half full and all of that stuff, but I have no confidence that they're going to do the right thing to get us over the hump. Every day of inactivity,
which is surprising for Lakers, because we especially grew up.
Right,
we grew up knowing that they'll figure something out. You know, if we had a bum year, didn't make the playoffs, or went out in the first round, we always were excited about that offseason because we knew they would figure something out that would put us back in contention.
Exactly. We
don't feel that confident anymore, and that's a sad feeling.
Is where is that? It's like when you start looking at us being a poorly ran franchise, it's almost like this never was a fact. Even when we made fun of Mitch Cupcake, sleep at the switch, Mitch. You know what I'm saying? Like at least when he did try.
He made some crazy trades too.
Made some things. I mean, the Mozgov and the Dang didn't help him out on the way out. That kind of like a stand on his legacy. But you know, but he always tried.
That doesn't offset Kwame for Powell. So
no. But I mean, you know, that was West.
That was legendary.
That was West. That was the homie deal.
Mitch Kupchak got the credit.
That was the homie deal.
Look, it always was interesting for me because, you know, obviously, you know, when great trades were made, we was like, oh my God, Mitch Kupchak is cool. And then he makes the Dang and the milestone. We're like, what are they doing? Mm-hmm. And maybe, you know, that was a lot of like probably front office stuff that they were trying to do. I still think that we need to get away from name brand players and just find that diamond in the rough. We have a great farm system, I would say. Scouting.
Absolutely.
You know, like we are able really to find those diamonds in the rough. And I just think we really just don't utilize them. We still are trying to get that big name that really is not making things that are not a really good fit. But when we get like a Brian Reeves, I mean Austin Reeves, then we're like, oh my God, like this guy is great, he's amazing. We just need to get a couple more of those. I'm still.
I think that's easier said than done. Of course, otherwise they'd have them, and every team would have them. But you know, the situation here, guys, and I think we can call it the Rick Fox syndrome. Okay, that's what I'm going to term it. I'm going to term it the Rick Fox syndrome. The Lakers have survived. They have made a living. They have cashed in titles based on the fact that they're the Lakers, that they would have 2 stars and that top veterans would take a minimum and a pay cut to come to the Lakers. Rick Fox could have taken much more to go to Boston, to stay in Boston. These players would always take less to be a Laker and play with Laker, and that's not happening now.
Right.
They are not getting those players anymore.
Right.
So the Rick Fox syndrome is gone.
Yeah.
They don't have these top of the line players who will forego $20 million a year and take the veteran minimum just for a chance because we're not that strong in the front office. Nobody's that confident in the team anymore. That's hurting us.
Yeah. And so I want to just go back a little for a few years, and when Magic Johnson was the GM. Now, I remember when the legendary meme of him shaking his head, I ain't gonna be here. And then we were like, oh, Magic just jealous, you know. Magic is jealous. He just talking that junk, you know what I'm saying? We moved on. Magic, you're cancer, you know. You're not really helping the team, like all that other stuff, right? That's what it was said at that point in time about Magic Johnson. Okay, we win a championship, you know, and Pelinka was being paraded around the city like he was the man. However, now let's look at what is going on. We try to talk like a lot of stuff that Magic didn't do anything good, but Magic actually got LeBron here. Now, Magic Johnson I can tell you for a fact, would have been able to close deals on any of these big time free agents that we be trying to go out there and chase.
He could sell the team.
He can sell what it means to be the Laker. He's going to give you what you want. He's going to put it in your table on the table, and you're going to win. I mean, you're going to want to play for Magic. Because Magic is a showman. He's a salesman.
It's going to make you believe that he's going to get it done.
I am very confident. And I saw something online where Magic Johnson literally said that if he was the GM, there was no way in the world that Kawhi Leonard would have went to the Clippers.
He wanted to pair him.
And he would have got him. I really believe that. I really believe he would have got Kawhi Leonard, because Kawhi Leonard has this Uncle Dennis character. Yep. Uncle Dennis with a lifetime Laker fan. You see where this is going. He's idolizing Magic Johnson. He's drinking the Kool-Aid. We all happy and chummy. He signed on the dollar line. Basically just got played. Pelinka got played by these guys. You know what I'm saying?
They had him waiting around on the sidelines while other players are getting signed.
Magic ain't playing that. Magic, you know, like for all intents and purposes, Magic for the streets too.
We want you sign it now, or get the fuck out of
here. Yeah, he's not doing. He's not playing no games.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is now there's no vote of confidence in his front office. You don't see these guys. It almost feels like when LaMarcus Aldridge didn't want to take a meeting with the Lakers that time, where you're thinking like, wait a minute, Marcus Aldridge, like the nerve.
Yeah,
who are you? The nerve. Yeah, who are you to just go ahead and like, to shun the Lakers? Matter of fact, I think that's LaMarcus Aldridge's claim to fame is shunning the Lakers, because once that point happened and he went to the Spurs, he wasn't nothing at that point in time. So it's like now, so we have a situation, right, where I think the players are going to have to fix this. Because it's not going to be our GM. It's not going to be our ownership. We got to wait and see on the coach. It's like the players have to buck up and take pride in this and try to get back. And like you were saying, have attainable goals. Get to, basically get to the 500. From 500, get to the 6th seed. From the 6th seed, get a first round, get home court in the first round. Attainable goals. Goals that are right there, but why aren't we trying? Why are we not trying to get them?
Well, you know what? We're going to be right back. There's plenty to talk about here with the Lakers. Always plenty to decide, plenty to discuss. We're going to talk about that. We are the Profanity Nation podcast, voice the professional fan. We'll be right back.
United One Protection Services. With over 30 years of experience, United One Protection Services has more expertise and knowledge than the other security companies combined. Residential, commercial, municipal, or institutional, United One Protection Services does more than just security. We protect your livelihood. United One Protection Services.
Hi, I'm Renee Starms of the Starms Agency. Do you know why 97% of startups fail? It's because they don't have the proper exposure. So for the first time ever, Infinity Studios and the Starms Agency have come together to provide you with the Little Guys Big Marketing Package. Now, this is for local Los Angeles businesses who are ready to launch, relaunch, or simply expose their business to grow. With this package, you're going to receive 6 months of online and offline marketing tactics in a customized plan for your business. You're also going to get a professional TV quality commercial filmed in an 1,800 square foot studio with multiple screening options. So if you're ready to grow, go ahead and click that link. We also have financing available. I'm looking forward to chat with you. Click the link and let's go.
Yo, we're back. This is the Profanity Nation podcast exclusively on Infinity TV on YouTube, 8:30 p.m. every Sunday night. We talk Lakers, NBA, sports in general. We're the place to be. Thank you. All right, guys. So you wanted to talk about a little bit about comparison between teams, right? Between decision making and the heat that one team will get versus another team. But, you know, it seems justified just based on expectations. But go ahead and bring that up just for an example.
Yeah. So, you know, we always talk about how, like, you know, the Lakers are always in the, you know, I'm old. I'm going to say the newspaper. The Lakers
That's
are
actually a paper you would hold.
The Lakers are always in the news for any little
every question, every decision is
everything is scrutinized. Yes. Yeah. So
that's the right word.
So we've made trades, we have overpaid for trades, and we got the result that we had. Now, people want to call it the bubble championship, but I would always tell people no time in the history of the NBA has a team not enjoyed their home court advantage. We didn't have that. We had home court advantage that was taken away from us. As everyone is assuming that we wouldn't have went to the championship and probably won it if we didn't have that home court advantage, which you know how Staples get when it gets raucous in the playoffs. So let's just put that baby to bed. However, there's a team across the hall that literally has given up a bona fide first round all-star talent in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and 5 first rounders for Paul George, and no one bats an eye. No one says anything. It's under the radar, so to speak. And that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, why are we getting all the heat for our personnel decisions and things of that nature? And where's the Clippers? Were they 6th seed now or something like that?
But you know the answer to that.
Well, they're the Clippers
because nobody has any expectations,
and no one gives a damn.
Right?
They are the 6th seed, standing at 23-22. They are exactly, as we stand, 2.5 games above the Lakers. So.
Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? With this team was I wouldn't even say a dark horse. There were people out there saying that the Clippers, once they get their stuff together, they're going to be front of the favorites to come out of the West.
They would like to say that.
They always it's like sexy
those
for them to say it.
Those same people disappear. Those same pundits, those same media heads disappear right about now in the season.
Exactly.
And they deny
because they were like, damn, I did it again.
Yeah. I believed in the Clippers again, guys. You know, I'd like to let's talk about the Clippers really quick, or at least talk about, you know, their star, right? Their star player, Kawhi Leonard. You touched a little bit on the Magic Johnson interview where he said he was, was going to try and pair Kawhi Leonard with LeBron and this and that and get him on the team. We question whether or not Kawhi would have ever made that. Mike, you seem to think that he's more of a dynasty buster, that he likes to play.
Right.
He's more old school, would choose to play against. However, he was the one that I believe made the demand. I want to play with such and such, and Paul George wasn't his first choice. I believe it was his second choice, but he didn't want to come alone. So he did want to team up with someone, and they made that happen to get him. But wow. I mean, in retrospect, if we were looking back and said Kawhi is on this team, wow, I don't think Laker fans would be too happy with him. I don't think Laker fans are as patient as Clipper fans. We're not as patient as Clipper Darrell. We're not out there saying rah, 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 even after a loss, saying, well, when we get Kawhi back. We're tired of saying when we get Kawhi back. Look at us with Anthony Davis.
Well, look, at least we know Anthony Davis is trying to come back.
Right.
Kawhi,
we don't know what's in this head.
Yeah, he get hurt, and he gonna say, "I see y'all next year."
Yeah, or he won't even say that. He won't let you know one way or the other.
Yeah,
just keeps you wondering.
Mm-hmm.
Keeps you wondering.
So
keeps you on the hook.
I think it's actually kind of. I mean, AD is frustrating enough. We always say the best ability is availability, and he's a guy where it actually seems like Davis's injuries are more major than what Kawhi's are. You know what I mean? Like, we haven't seen really made torn. You don't ever really see that.
You don't hear any details.
Yeah, but it's always more like just rehab stuff and then rehab it at his pace.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't feel like an urgency to kind of really get back.
It appears that Kawhi doesn't ever feel an obligation to his team or teammates.
Yeah, so you know what I mean. Like, that's a mentality that kind of. Kawhi's a great player, but I don't think I really would want him, on my team for that reason. You know what I mean? Because at least we know that AD is trying to get back, and he doesn't mean to get hurt. He just gets hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Kawhi is like, all right, I'm hurt. Well, see you on next year, and again, that's not going to help us because every year. Because of the way the team was constructed and we had LeBron, we ran out of time.
News has come out, guys, as we're talking about trades and everything. A lot of people have thought, and I don't think it's completely out of this world to even consider it. It's not going to happen, but trading a superstar while he's still bringing in numbers, trading an AD or trading a LeBron. Okay. There's rumors out there. There's always going to be rumors about LeBron, but there's rumors. Oh, he would like to play with Steph Curry. He would go to Golden State or
That's
such.
So ridiculous.
Well, exactly. Well, he's been quoted now as saying, no, he wants to stay a Laker for the remainder of his career, and he wants to finish out his career as a Laker. What is your thoughts, Stat, on trading a superstar towards the end of their career to get those assets? LeBron would still bring in a haul. There's no question that there's plenty of teams out there, especially with the West wide open, that would trade assets, including the Golden State. You could even net a Draymond Green and parts, or a Klay Thompson in parts. You could get some very tangible assets back for somebody like a LeBron James, and something to build around and start building. If they made that, let's just hypothesize, if they made a trade like that, let's just say they got a Klay Thompson in pieces, you now have a team of AD, Klay Thompson going into next season with no Russell Westbrook on the books, no LeBron James on the books, and plenty of payroll to fill in around those guys. Why don't teams consider that more?
Okay, so this is why I think so. So I believe it's a PR nightmare. It's a PR nightmare. I mean, you can trade a superstar, but do you trade a generational GOAT? And that's where we're at right now. So are we going to trade LeBron to get pieces when supposedly we have we got in Sports Illustrated talking about we're wasting his prime years. So
Right.
we
What
already
that
got
mean?
that out there, right? That's already the narrative that people are trying to set in motion, right?
Exactly.
So if we do that, the same reason why we don't do that is the same reason why we pay Kobe 2 years, $50 million at the end of his career when you know he wasn't going to bring you into the promised land, right? It's about the perception and what we're doing. At the same time, you're looking at all these young guys. You're looking at John Morant. You're looking at all these people that are looking at the Lakers and seeing how we treating our superstars. This ain't your daddy's Lakers. This ain't the bus type Lakers. So the bus, Dr. Jerry Buss Lakers pays Kobe the 2 years, $50 million. The Genie Bus Lakers trade LeBron out. It's going to be kind of hard to now after we do that, to now sell this on some new free agents that we're going to treat you right when we did this to LeBron. Like, we got to play the long game here, and we could talk about hauls in this, but honestly, to trade LeBron right now for this front office and the bind that they're in right now, I don't even know how they can do it and do it successfully. Like, they really got to knock it out of the park.
Money. This front office is already getting slack. They're already being questioned. Nobody has confidence in them. We've said it ourselves. What do they have to lose at this point? Nobody expects the team to do anything. Charles Barkley calls us trash. He said, why are they even watching the Lakers? Why are we getting primetime slots? Why are we on national TV? He's got a point.
He doesn't, because all you gotta do is show him the amount of revenue that we generate.
Thank you. Show him the needle. Show him the needle.
So as long as you see what's going on, like, look, it was proven. What was that, Georgia? That they said it was the lowest ratings ever.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to see Georgia TCU. You know what I mean? That was the lowest ratings ever. You're never gonna. The Lakers will never be in that conversation of having the lowest. It doesn't matter who they play. They're never going to be in a conversation of having the lowest ratings ever, no matter what you see.
Let me hold you there. They'll never be there. Then why not take a chance and get some assets for a superstar?
You know what?
Could that send them there?
You don't know. I know you don't know football, but there was.
What are you talking about? I'm the fantasy football champion. Wait a minute.
Cool.
In case y'all didn't know,
all right.
I am the champion at fantasy football.
Okay, cool.
So
tell me.
So apparently,
tell me the major trade. Football. You know what? No. Now I'm about to prove. We about to change.
Hey, you brought it up.
Yeah, right. And we're going to change the subject for this just to prove how much you don't know about football.
Right, go ahead.
And I'm gonna have Snapchat answer the question.
Okay.
Tell me the major trade that everybody thought the Cowboys were crazy for that they did, but it worked out in their favor.
The Herschel Walker trade.
I didn't want you to tell. I wanted him to say that.
Sorry.
Okay, there you go.
I mean,
who is Herschel Walker?
The guy that was
a politician, right? That's what you.
The guy that was going to try to run for senator.
Play running back, correct?
Yeah,
of course.
yeah. You only know that because he tried to run.
But
anyway, if you remember the Herschel Walker trade, right? That when they traded him to Minnesota, that was at that time probably the most polarizing trade that was ever made, simply because they gave up the best player that everybody saw at that time to Minnesota. But what they got back, they literally said, okay, I'm gonna get rid of you, I'm gonna get rid of you. And they got a whole bunch of draft picks, but they knew pretty much where they were gonna go before they made that trade. And then they were able to win 3 Super Bowls in like 4 years.
Yeah,
or
three Super Bowls in 5 years.
Yeah. So that was, we have to really kind of be able to do that.
Now,
and
there is one thing you're leaving out of that equation.
What?
Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah.
We don't got no Jimmy Johnson.
That's true.
As far as the coach.
Okay.
Yeah, coach.
So if we're going to go ahead and put everything equal in an equal correlation, like apples to apples, then I need to make sure that I got that asset that I'm trading. I got my Herschel Walker trade. I'm trying to get my haul. Am I going to be confident in this front office to go ahead and do with those assets what the Dallas Cowboys did with theirs? I can't say that's the case. I don't know. I mean, are free agents going to be jumping at the bit just to be like, can I go ahead and fill the void of LeBron James?
That's kind of what I say. We need to be able to find and see something in players that people aren't
we got
on the radar.
But now,
and that's the difficult part.
That's the Jerry West.
But that's also. But then at the same time, we're trading these young talent for name brand people.
Right.
So what I'm saying, yes, we need to find diamonds in the rough. But when we find a diamond in the rough, we trade the diamond in the rough.
We keep doing
so
it.
you know what I'm saying? We keep doing it. So we find the Carusos of the world. We let him go. You know what I'm saying? We find it. We got the Ingrams. You know what I'm saying? We got, all these Cleavers, all these young cats. We get them.
Jordan Clarkson.
We get them. Jordan Clark. We get them. And they're not here.
Right.
So why find diamonds in the rough when they're not even going to stay here past their rookie contract? So that's where we're at here. It's like, yes, in theory, that is great. But I'm saying what we have right now is not a small sample size, a large sample size.
Mm-hmm.
A large sample size of what the Lakers do and a large sample size of what LeBron James do to teams when they come to the teams.
Right.
He does not want young talent around so he can play with young talent so they can build and grow into the thing. He wants ready-made players to plug and play to win now.
So here's a question. If Westbrook would trade $20 million next year, do we sign him?
Do you want him at $20 million?
I would take him at $20 million.
I say this. I'm going to tell you right now. Let the market decide. Let the market decide.
Oh,
let the market decide. You think
he'll
20 years,
he's still
2 years, $40 million? It'll be like that. 1 year, 20.
I don't think.
I think he can get a 2-year deal.
I think he get a 3-year deal.
Look,
with a player with a
look
team
at Chris
option.
Paul. Look at Chris Paul. Chris Paul got that deal. Now, and they're different players, but Russ is still very formidable.
I mean,
he
the guy's
averaging. Put him in the right scheme, and he can get it done. Put him in charge of the ball. He's still going to get you the triple doubles. He'll still put fans in the seats. So yeah,
I mean, he's 15, 8, and 6.
Right? No, he's nice right now.
You know what I mean?
For me, I have no problem with Westbrook.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So I mean, because we're earlier in this conversation, we said Westbrook gonna be off the books, and I'm like, okay, well, then we put him back on the books.
Put him back on the book at the expense of our cap space, though, because we've seen this movie before. You see what I'm saying? I don't want to do it at the expense of the cap space that we're hoarding.
See, the Russell Westbrooks were the type where the Rick Foxes. Those were the players that this is what the question should be is when we win the title this year, will Russell Westbrook take a huge pay cut to stay with the team and win another one? That's how you keep a Russell Westbrook for a discount. Without that, he's not going to shave $1 off of his.
Oh no.
But nobody's going to give that man 40.
No, he's not getting.
Nobody's going to give that man $30 million. I don't think maybe 25 a match.
Shocked. I'm always shocked with the deal.
I mean, do you think anybody else?
That's true.
Do you think out of all the 32 teams in the league, anybody else could give him over $25 million a year?
I don't know, dude.
I mean, who would do that?
But at the same time, we were talking about our cap space and the contracts. Well, then it would have. I mean, like we were talking about Van Fleet and all these other people available. Well, if their price is $25 million, so you're going to say
it's going to be 20.
So you're going to say you want Westbrook over Van Fleet?
Or Kuzma or Clarkson.
You see what I'm saying? This is the cap space that we have here.
Sure.
So if we can negotiate with all these available free agents,
probably end up getting close to 30.
I mean, and then he got to. I mean, I'm adios amigo. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got to do what you got to do. If Westbrook is asking for $30 million a year, I gotta let Westbrook go. I can't bring him back on this team as currently constructed.
That handicaps the team
at $30 million.
No way.
We are literally going back and doing the same thing we did. First of all, we shouldn't have done it in the first place, but that's just. We don't want our players to play GM, and that's what we
got the GM player.
You got the biggest GM player.
We got the biggest GM player there is.
It's true.
So
when in Rome, you have to let the Romans do what the Romans do, and LeBron's done that.
I mean, look, how many times? Because I'm so tired of people talking about he gave us a championship. How many times is that argument going to be satisfactory to people? That's.
I think what might determine some of, if we're talking about Bron's legacy at this point, how long that'll be satisfactory, because you're assuming another one isn't in the mix. I think a lot of how people will refer back to or reference the LeBron era as a Laker will be the status of the team when he leaves. If the team goes completely downhill and we trade these first round picks to get him a player and we still don't win, then I think his legacy and the history will show that he was a cancer more than a cure to the team. I think if there's a hangover after LeBron of 2 to 3 years where the team has to wait now to regain assets and so forth from all the sacrifices they made when LeBron was here, that will eat people. Laker fans are not patient.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you yeah, and just to piggyback on that point, I would say if LeBron James did give only us one championship, and I know we're spoiled, we're saying if only one, but at the same time, okay, that's another show. But what I'm saying is like if we make these trades that people want us to make, which means that we're giving up the 2027 draft pick and the 29 draft pick, he is not going to be here in those years.
Nope.
So literally, these draft picks are going to be gone. We don't have any way of rebuilding. And if we don't have any foundation to attract free agents, then it's going to, like you said, I would be mad.
Yeah.
I would be upset because we have let go all of our young talent. All of the team, all of the players that we see balling out are only in we just sacrifice the whole future for a championship. And I know, I get it. It's a championship. And a lot of teams would sacrifice their whole existence for a championship. But we're not that. We don't make trades because we envision us making one championship. We make trades because we want to build dynasties. That's what we want to do. We don't want to build championship teams. We want dynasties. Okay. So, yeah, we get the one championship. We have no assets. It's really going to be a problem. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of problems for a lot of Laker fans.
Yeah, well, we're not. The way it's going.
But we're gonna win this year anyway, so we're done.
I'm really for the
taking on the chip.
We winning it this year. Don't worry
right,
about it.
Well, there's plenty to talk about. There always is. But as you know, everybody on the Profanity Nation, we finished the show with a segment we call Money Mike's Out of Bounds. Money Mike is going to share his opinions or thoughts on a topic, and it's real easy. Everybody can contribute to this. He just wants to know, are his thoughts or opinions in bounds or out of bounds? Money Mike, you've got the mic.
You know what? This year, I mean, not this year, but this week, it's really a therapy session for me.
Okay.
Right. Because, I've been, last few out of bounds have been like on LeBron, been kind of high, low, warm and cold. I know that. But I know I'm gonna get a little slack over this because, if you talk about LeBron and his final quarter game winning, all the stuff he's doing, if you look at paper, the stats and all that, he's like one of the highest rated and everything. I go by the eye test. He's been like 5 years. In the last 5 years, I have not been impressed with LeBron's final game antics. So am I out of bounds to say that LeBron is not nowhere near close to being one of the top closers ever to play the game? And because I think he's just not. Now, mind you, listen, I've only seen him for the last 5 years. My eye test, I don't know what he did for the first 15, but these last 5, look, personally, I don't even want LeBron nowhere near the ball the way he's been performing in close games and take him over to the promised land. Am I out of bounds to say he is not a closer?
No, you're not out of bounds. You're definitely in bounds because I've seen it too. And what's really working against him is that we had 20 years of Kobe. So that's the problem. So when you got one of the most clutchest player of the ultimate, and I know you're going to have your stat nerds are going to be like, well, look at the efficiency that Kobe Bryant did. He made pretty much 50% of his game, but we seen. So what I'm looking at is this: if you are going to take the last shot, at least if you make it and miss it, Kobe Bryant was saying, flush it. I'm going to play it for another time, but he's going to take that shot. And he's going to make the play. If that guy is super wide open, Kobe might pass him the ball. But for the most part, Kobe Bryant wants to put the onus on himself. LeBron James literally want to do all the hard work and be like, dribble, dribble, dribble. Now you do it. Like he's always that's the MO. Like I'm gonna give you the opportunity to go ahead and make or break this whole team. Where that guy ain't making $40 million a year. You're making $40 million a year. You're making $40 million a year not to make shots in 46 of those 48 minutes. You really getting the premium on your contract to make shots in the last 2 minutes because that's where everybody's getting their money. You're right. That's money time. They call it for money time for a reason. So I say by me looking at Kobe, by me even looking at Magic Johnson makes big time baskets at the end of the games. I'm looking at Jordan. We're looking at Dame. Things don't look the same. Luka, things ain't looking the same. You see what I'm saying? It don't look the same. We can all say that. If we want to just talk about basketball, we know what it's supposed to look like.
Right.
It don't look like this. Sorry. It's your GOAT. I'm sorry. But if you want to come at me and try to argue with me, I'm going to rip it to shreds. You know what I'm saying? Because I know what it looks like. And if you're going to try to sell me on his last quarter or his fourth quarter or his overtime antics and saying that's what clutch looked like, you really need to redefine your term of what clutch really is. And so that's why I'm saying that you are definitely 100% inbound with 2 feet.
Well said.
Money Mike, I'm agreeing with you this time.
All right.
I usually go against the grain, but I'm agreeing with you. You're 100% inbounds. And the reason why you're inbounds is not because of his time as a Laker, because of his entire time in the NBA. Never, and what I'm going to call this is the fear factor. Never has a team been terrified of LeBron getting the ball at the end of a game. Kobe, I can assure you, they schemed. Do not, I don't care what you do not let Kobe get that ball. When it was the Celtics, do not let Bird get that ball. There was a fear factor that as a fan, when you would watch these teams against the Lakers and Bird would get that ball or a Damian Lillard gets that ball, you just know and you feel this fear. I never felt that no matter what team LeBron was on, the Cavs, Miami, it didn't matter. I was never worried, and I don't feel that now as the Lakers, and other players don't feel that.
I get the feeling, I don't know, I'm not speaking for you, I get the feeling where he about to miss that. We're going to overtime.
Well, yeah, but this is but now that he's on our team, we have the fear factor.
Yeah.
But I was never afraid of him, even in his prime, to hit that game-winning shot. I just don't think that's what he's known for.
Game-winning free throws.
That killer instinct. I think that's always been everybody's hang up on LeBron, that he doesn't have that Kobe-esque, Bird magic killer instinct to not just jab you with the knife, but to twist it, pull it, and stick it even further in.
Break it off.
You break it off and make sure that you're shanked to the hilt. So no, you're 100% inbounds, and it's too late now. He is the player he is, but that he just doesn't have.
Right.
That he just doesn't have. So you're absolutely right. 100%.
Thank you very much.
That was
you got it, man. That was easy.
That was an easy one. You're 100%. You went for low.
I'm gonna take my victory lap.
Exactly. Low-hanging fruit on that one, guys. This has been a great show. Thank you for joining us again. The Profanity Nation podcast every Sunday night at 8:30 p.m. exclusively on Infinity Television. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, everywhere. We're there. You'll see the videos. You'll see quotes from Money Mike. We're big time. You need to go follow that stuff. Subscribe right now so you don't miss any other shows. The Breaks, Monday Night Fredo. We've got a plenty of great shows, a great lineup on this channel right here. You don't want to miss it, and big stuff coming up. We'll be back next week. Let's watch these Lakers guys. We're getting closer to the trade deadline. We'll see what happens. We'll see what Pelinka does. We'll see what the newly engaged Jeannie Buss does. And we'll see.
Oh, man.
We haven't touched base on that.
That's a whole nother show.
That's a whole nother show. Jeannie Buss engaged to Jay Moore, comedian Jay Moore. Congratulations, Jeannie. I hope you're happy. We'll see what happens with that. But hopefully, bless that relationship. But until then, we'll see you next week, guys. This is Profanity Nation Podcast. Thank you. We're out.
Please.